Good morning and welcome to Channel 196 on Star Times. This is our studio from Lagos. My name is Dapo and Ishioma. Welcome to your program. This is your political platform where we discuss topical, controversial, current affairs issues as it borders around our country, Nigeria. This is Crossfire. Good morning once again. And I have with me in the studio, we'll be running the show together, Ishioma. Ishioma, good morning.
Good morning. Fine, thank you. Good morning and welcome to Crossfire today.
It's become really very glaring that a lot of Nigerians are wondering what the handwriting of the President, Muhammadu Buhari, is concerning the numerous probes that are ongoing in Nigeria. It has been a news everywhere in the country that our Commonwealth has been really plundered and monies has been stolen. The United States of America a few weeks ago promised Nigeria to help recover virtually every stolen funds, maybe some, maybe all. I mean, because it has been said that even Abacha's loot is still in the process. We still have a lot of outstanding that has not been brought back into the country. Our show today will be very detailed as we focus on the secret meeting between the predecessor, President Buhari's predecessor, that is President Goodluck Jonathan, and after which another president, President Olusegun Obasanjo, met with the president of Nigeria, PMB. And now we'll be giving you details of some of the agenda or the discussion that was made in secret. And so we'll be talking about corruption, recovery of stolen funds in Nigeria, and what the president's handwriting or body language is as it has to do with how much of probe and who he is going to bring to book. Now, Ishioma, let's quickly run through one or two stories that are making headlines as we build up to what we'll be focusing on today. Buhari queries diversion of $1 billion railway loan. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari has asked the Ministry of Finance to explain why the foreign loan obtained for various key rail projects by the federal government were diverted under the watch of the former Minister of Finance, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Now, the president issued the query on a day set up a presidential advisory committee, against corruption headed by a prominent professor of law and right activist, and that's Professor Itse Sage. The president said it is very disappointing to find out that a foreign loan obtained in line with signed agreement were moved to one project to another. President Buhari was reacting specifically to the diversion of well over $600 million of the $1 billion that was given to Nigeria by the Chinese Exim Bank. Now, this happened in 2012, Ishioma, and we have been reliably told. All of us know that. We have a very bad story to write about the Nigerian rail system today. Even though the past administration claims, and it was part of the things President Goodluck Jonathan used as a campaign element to saying that the Nigerian rail system is back in place.
Some of the refurbished trains.
Exactly, and all of that. But information have it that out of the $1 billion loan that we took from Chinese Exim Bank, it was a loan for us to reactivate, to reenact and to repair, just to ensure that the rail system in Nigeria works again. But the truth here is that $600 million of the $1 billion was diverted to so many other projects, known, unknown, true or false, done, undone, completed, uncompleted, whatever it is. But the truth is just that this money was not appropriated. It was a loan that was agreed that this will be specifically spent on the rail system. And this is the situation that we have. So the president is saying, I need the Minister of Finance to come and explain why this money was not appropriated. Why the diversion?
Perfect.
Why the diversion?
And not just, the former Minister of Finance also. Probably the Minister for Transport also, because there is no way such diversion would have been done alone. Of course, there would have been some paperwork to cover it up, to make it seem like contracts were awarded and some motions were set in place to, carrying out some of those duties. So while the former Minister for Finance is being interrogated, I think the former Minister for Transport also.
Anyway, let's do a build-up on this. Now, the president was telling, you know, the XY Minister for Agriculture in Nigeria, who is now the, you know, the incumbent person holding forth for the African Development Bank. You know, President Muhammadu Buhari has dismissed the general notion that Nigeria is a rich country, arguing that the indices and parameters of evaluating a rich country, such as economic advancement and improved social services, are lacking in Nigeria. President Buhari said Nigeria is erroneously being regarded as a rich country. He, however, enjoined Nigerians elites, you know, to be prepared to make sacrifice to rescue the country. So the president said this when he received the outgoing president of the African Development Bank, Dr. Donald Kaberuka, and other officials of the bank. According to him, the privileged and influential citizen clearly have to do with more than what has happened in the past to help the country deal successfully with its economic and security problems. Now, it is assumed, you know, that Nigeria is a very wealthy country. Now, today, what we have, based on the amount of corruption that has eaten deep into, you know, our polity, is eventually not even making the president to see Nigeria as a very rich country. And he was very explicit about it. He said,
if you look at nations, look at nations like Greece, for example, Greece once upon a time used to be referred to as a very wealthy nation. But if you look at the economic situation which they are in, I mean, it's difficult to still refer to them as wealthy. That's why you see they're having so much, you know, troubles with their economy, and they're looking for bailout funds. That's, you know, the same state Nigeria is in. So, I mean, I think it would be ridiculous to refer to Nigeria as a rich nation with the, you know, 1,000,001 problems which we have bedeviling the nation.
All right.
So I agree with
all right. I mean, as a matter of fact, for me, if he talks about economic advancement, improved on social and you know, social amenities, welfare, education, the appalling state of the health sector.
I mean, look at, you know, security also.
I mean, that one is, yes, that one is, I mean, is second to none, really and truly. And I believe very seriously that from the body language of the president, if we get it right and we get our monies back from all the pockets that it has entered indiscriminately during the last, during the past regime, I'm very sure that we will eventually, you know, have an opportunity to rebuild this nation again, you know, and all of that. Still building on this story of corruption, the missing $200 billion oil money. You know, before Lamido Sanusi eventually, you know, his tenure expired as the governor of the central bank, he came out really very strong on NNPC that our monies are missing, that there is an outstanding $200 billion that has not been remitted into the federal government account. And, you know, it became a controversy. The then head of economy and the finance minister of Nigeria, Dr. Okonjo-Iweala, came to the House and you know, explained it away that there's no money that is missing. Even the Minister of Petroleum, in person of, you know, Denziani, came around and said there's no missing money. Now, part of this missing fund has been traced to banks in Nigeria. At least a particular highbrow bank in Nigeria, we have $16 million that have been traced and tracked into a particular account. And so, and many other ones that the government is carefully investigating because they don't want to blow any alarm, and then people start, you know, panicking, and then end up probably, you know, hiding these monies, you know, further into places where they cannot be easily traced. But the truth is just that, I mean, $16 million out of the $20 billion allegedly stolen from the coffers of the Nigerian Petroleum, the Nigerian National Petroleum, NNPC, by the management of the corporation, have reportedly been refunded by the management of one of the top banks in Nigeria due to fear of prosecution by the incoming government. So this is really, really, you know, mind-boggling that we have this situation and nobody was saying anything prior to, you know, the inauguration, the election, and then the conferment of the next president of Nigeria on President Muhammadu Buhari, you know, and then the body language, the handwriting, all the things he's been doing and he's been saying is beginning to play out to say that no sacred cow. And then people are beginning to respond even before he spoke to them or before things are,
many of them are already on their own trying to remit the money.
You know,
but for me, I think this is the first step. Recovering the monies is perfect. It's the first step. But it's not just the only thing we need that those monies which have been recovered should be properly allocated for the purpose
don't
which we
you
need
think
it to
President
be.
Buhari would do a very good work in that area?
I believe so.
All the monies that we recovered from Abacha's loot, many of them were returned
to the previous administration.
To the previous administration, and we still don't know what was done to it. Anyway, on a last note, before we start going into the main discourse for today, Jonathan's government is the most corrupt government since 1960. This was the position of the New York Times. The New York Times came really very strong after a very thorough, and they took it back to independence from Britain, and they are saying that there are being successive and many corrupt governments in Nigeria, but the most corrupt in the history of Nigeria.
So that's to say that
is the last.
If I understand the statement clearly, they are also saying that the Jonathan administration was more corrupt than even the Abacha administration.
Of course, that's the position of the New York Times.
Wow.
And it's on this note that we will start looking precisely at the discussion, for today, which borders around, some little information that we have gathered about, the secret meeting between President Goodluck Jonathan, former President Goodluck Jonathan, and President Muhammadu Buhari. There was a meeting that was brokered by the, former military president who actually handed over or gave room for democracy to thrive in Nigeria, and that is former military ruler. That is what was his name now? Absalami Abubakar. Now, Absalami Abubakar made several attempts to broker a meeting between President Goodluck Jonathan and President Muhammadu Buhari. For a very long time, information I have it coming from Aso Rock that the president actually dodged this meeting for so many, several reasons, knowing fully well that, information has been made available on newspapers and social media that the probe is ongoing and the focus is actually on the past administration. So I think fear came and gripped, the former president, and so he needed to quickly broker a meeting between himself and the president. Another very key element of the discussion they had in their secret meeting, is the fact that there was a peace pact that was signed before the elections between President Goodluck Jonathan, former President Goodluck Jonathan, and President Muhammadu Buhari, saying that we will resolve all our issues amicably. Nobody is going to go to jail. I'm not going to send you to jail. Every problem that I have with our administration, when I get into power, I will make sure that it is resolved amicably. It was maybe these are the things that actually informed President Goodluck Jonathan to have quickly accepted defeat before it was even announced to have lost the elections and all of that. These are just my thoughts. And then, immediately after the meeting, President Goodluck Jonathan and President Muhammadu Buhari, and then the person who brokered the meeting, that's General Absalami Abubakar. It is to ensure that this probe is properly done. Now, when we say properly done, what do we mean? And that is the major focus of our discussion. Hold on. Should this probe be extended to the president, or let's exclude the president, or probably the vice president, or probably the vice president, or it should start from President Goodluck Jonathan himself to Namadi Sambo, the vice president, and all the way to all ministers who ever served.
And even to other state governors.
Exactly, all the ministers who ever served under Goodluck Jonathan administration. And at the same time, it trickles down to the activities of the state government under his administration, be it an APC-led state, or a PDP-led state, or an ABGA-led state, or what are the other popular? We have ABGA, and all of that. Okay, now my question, and this is the question to everyone out there, before you start calling, before you pick your phone to start calling, we want to find out. The secret meeting is pointing to the fact that most likely President Goodluck Jonathan may be exempted from the probe or from investigation, but truth have it that his officers, everybody who served under him will be under the watch, of the EFCC and other institutions that have been set up, by the government to ensure that every stolen fund in Nigeria is recorded. So let us start, taking a very closer look at the element of the meeting vis-a-vis one or two things that is expected to be done. We'll go on a short break now. When we come back, we will start addressing these issues, and get ready to make your own contribution. We'll be right back.
So, did you like what you just saw? I know you did. It's very simple. If you want to see more, just subscribe to our channel right now.